Hello guys, sorry about the whole screw up. Our previous video that was uploaded yesterday had us talking about this video. I uploaded the wrong video and didn't notice till today, so that's why you see just a big fat me right now. So I'm gonna go and, well, allow you guys to continue on to the video. So hit the like button or the dislike button, but if you hit the dislike button, tell us why in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys later. Hello Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 365 video. In this video, we are talking about the Reddit post by Inside Leaker, who post leaked Destiny 2 info, legitimate source, contact, in parentheses. So yeah, I'll just go through it and tell you my thoughts at the end. He says, I am in close contact with a Bungie employee currently working on Destiny 2 in some capacity. This sentence is weird. I think it's supposed to be, that is the sole source of this information. Take it with all the grains of salt you like. On to the juicy tidbits. I'll keep them as consistent as concise as possible. Alright, and then he says his first point is they are not completely rebooting our characters. He goes on to state that my source described it is a clean slate, but not a full wipe. Apparently, our, in quotation marks, guardian, I'll get to that later, will still retain their memories and accomplishments and etc. up to this point, but we will not have any carryover gear, weapons, and items. This is kind of obvious. I kind of saw that coming. Let's get on to the next point that he says. This person said that there will be 3 new subclasses from the jump. He goes on to say that the existing subclasses will be fully reworked, including new abilities, perks, and visual effects. I don't understand this. From the jump, I think he means, like, right from the beginning of the game, you will have 3 subclasses, and maybe we'll get more as time continues on. However, I'm not entirely sure. Hold on, let me bring myself back up here. We have the third point that he says is the game may face a delay into Q1 of 2018. He goes on to state that my source didn't get too specific. They never do. But hinted that they are having issues with the new engine they are using and possibly some hang-ups regarding narration and staff. This conflicts with what Destiny said, what Bungie said last month, I believe, where they said that Destiny 2 was on track with a September 2017 release. Well, they didn't say September, but we know it's coming in September. So I'm kind of skeptical about why the hang-ups regarding narration and staff. They have over 1,000 employees and 3 different companies working on this. So I don't know about the narration and staff. The engine one, that makes sense to me. And the fourth point that he makes out is it will, all caps, will, be 60 FPS. He goes on to state that cited technical limitations, not aesthetics, as the reason for it being missing in Destiny 1. Okay, so 60 frames per second in Destiny 2. I mean, that's good. I always like 60 frame per second games, especially on my PlayStation Pro. He says his next point is powers of, in quotation marks, the darkness will be introduced into gameplay. My source, he goes on to say that my source didn't elaborate on this. When I hear that, I kind of think of The Taken. So maybe we get powers from Oryx or from that girl who looks like Crota and Oryx, and we said it in the last video and I can't remember her name. But but the weird, creepy one, blindfolded. You know who I'm talking about if you play the game. He goes on to say his next point is raids will be bigger, longer, and much more interesting in terms of mechanics moving forward. It's odd that he doesn't elaborate on the whole moving forward part. He kind of just stops there and goes on to his next point. So that brings up the question, is he talking about just Destiny 2? Or is he talking about Destiny 1? Are they coming out with a new raid? I doubt that they would come out with a new raid moving forward on Destiny 1, but they're Bungie, they can do whatever they want. And Destiny 2, the raids will be bigger, longer, and much more interesting. That kind of makes sense, and I'm actually excited if any of this is true. I'd probably be not most excited, but pretty excited for the raids. Ships will no longer be cosmetic only. Then he goes on to say, no further details given. Now, I was talking to a bunch of my friends, and they had kind of shot that idea down, and I always thought that Bungie would, in Destiny 2, do a No Man's Sky type of feel where you physically fly to planets. It'll bring a lot more it'll make the game more realistic, to a certain degree. And they can do so much. They could have, like, timed events in space, if they do that. But moving on, he says they are implementing some kind of transmogrification feature. Apparently that is like you can change things. Don't know if they're talking about us or the enemies in this. Not sure. His next point is will come to PC. That's kind of a given. We already know this. I feel like this person just put that in there to give his statements a little bit more of legitimacy, but I'm not sure. His next statement is a UI overhaul, more customizable features coming. This gets me excited for the more customizable features, but also a UI overhaul I'm not ecstatic about, just because I like the UI that we have right now. He then says Xur will not Xur. Everus will not be as prominent as it is now. It's not an it. She doesn't really, in my eyes, she doesn't really play a big role. She only does Iron Banner. So she's going to get demoted from that too, I guess. We also have Xur will play a new role in the overarching story, and the speaker will be central to the main storyline. So those 2 points that this person makes is kind of interesting, just because I wonder what Xur would play a role in as, and the speaker to me doesn't play any role that is essential to the story, except for the first few missions. So I don't know. I look forward, if any of this information is true, also to Xur and the speaker, getting to know them a little bit more, but not sure. And he also says new non-Guardian races will be introduced. That's all he elaborates with. That's all I have unless my source gives me more info. So that last point kind of is confusing. Is he talking about like races that we can play as? And how is Bungie going to, if that is true, how is Bungie going to do that? However, I don't think this guy is legitimate at all. I think he's just throwing ideas out there just to throw ideas out there. And he's probably putting a few things like it will be in 60 frames per second and it will come to the PC And the part where he says no carryovers of gear, weapons, or items, he's probably putting all that stuff in to give himself a little bit of legitimacy. But like he said, take it with all the grains of salt you would like. I think this guy is absolute crap, and I don't think it's real at all. That's my opinion. Hit the like button if you share my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, tell me why in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. I'm always intrigued. So, yeah, it'll be nice to look back at, especially this video, and to see what this person said and if he is legitimate or not. But anyways, with that, this is Destiny 365. I'm Dominic, signing out. Peace.